Deuce Close. Mastering Madden.
Welcome to the Deuce Close Detroit Lions offensive playbook. I've spent the past month or so doing generalized tips, but I think it's time to do something more directed like this, something that's built from the ground up to handle Madden 19 defenses. The first video will be a starter pack, so it'll include everything you need to handle 90 to 95% of the defenses you see today, but we'll build on that with mini schemes for, say, the red zone, for heavy blitzes, or for just changing things up to keep our opponents on their heels. I may make some of it as exclusive content, but it will all be here, so make sure to stay subscribed for all the new updates. I've of course been testing this online for the past couple of weeks and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've designed the playbook specifically to handle cover 3. Okay, so we have a lot of cover 3 beaters, which are, important because this is the most popular defense in Madden, from what I've seen. And then of course we'll have checks to beat cover 2, man defense, and match coverage deep when we see it. So we'll have the ability to, of course, handle anything that's thrown at us with just a few plays here in the starter pack. And then of course we'll have the ability max protect to handle the heavy heat that a lot of players have been sending as well. So of course this is all, completely free. So if you think it's worth it, drop a like. It definitely helps me out, and it helps me know if you guys want to see more of this. So definitely do that, and we'll get started with the starter pack with why off trips weak in shotgun. Okay, so this is everything that you're gonna need in the starter pack. We won't get out of this formation. We're gonna set our audibles, we're gonna look at a few different plays, and we're gonna show you that this is really all you need to win games. Okay, so again, this is in the Detroit Lions playbook, and before we really get too into it, I wanna set the audibles. Okay, the audibles are stick, inside zone split, 4 verticals, PA slide. We're going to change most of those. Okay, we need stick there, and we'll get into that shortly. Inside zone, this is inside zone split. You want to change it to inside zone. That inside zone split is no good, it's useless. We're also going to change 4 verticals to halfback power O, and we'll get into that shortly. We're going to change PA slide to I believe I picked dig cross here. Okay, so those are that, and I won't get into the run plays in this video, but I'll kind of explain them right after this. So the reason why we set these audibles is that, again, we are predominantly focusing on the cover 3 with this playbook, but we want good audibles to come into if we see a cover 2 or if we see a press coverage that we can get explosive plays for big yards and big touchdowns. Okay, so we'll come out and stick right away. And I've touched on this many times, maybe not many times, a couple of videos, my earlier videos in Madden 19, why it's so good. Okay, so say if we come against cover 2 here. Okay, we want to almost beg our opponents to be in cover 2 because this will get us huge yards, if not one play touchdowns with this route on the right here. I made a video on it. You could watch that video and kind of get a little bit better idea of the nuances with it, but it is an amazing route and not nearly enough people are using it. Okay, so the reason why we have these audibles is that if we see something that could be cover 2 and also press coverage, and we'll get into that shortly, we want to audible to either stick or dig cross. Okay, so you have that forced outside release go route on the left or the right, and it's up to you which one you want to run. I like to run the one that, where my trips is to the field, so we have a little bit more space. So say here we're expecting cover 2, so we could leave the play like this, or we could streak the tight end to preoccupy that safety a little bit more. And what we're going to do is we're just going to wait for Terrell Owens here to go around, bump, without getting bumped, go around Jalen Ramsey there, and we should be able to hit him just like this. So that's the absolute worst case scenario there, getting the 30 yards. But if we throw it right with the nice outside pass lead, we should be able to rack that and turn that upfield for a 1-play touchdown. Okay, so that's always going to be there. If you ever suspect cover 2, you got that. Similarly, you can go, let's just show you over here. We don't need necessarily trips. Let's go on the left here and let's call it the dig cross. We can hit him there as well. So how about that? How many, one play touchdowns against cover 2 do you see that you only need one route? So that's going to be your backbreaker route that's going to, give you explosive plays anytime you come across it. Okay, so it's going to torch any sort of cover 2. Now, also, and I showed this before, and let's just actually call a different play here. This is also great against press coverage. Okay, so let's come out and dig cross, and let's come up against, let's go big nickel, and let's just call it stock cover 3, I guess. Okay, so this is another thing that I've been doing that, you don't see press coverage too often, but when you do, again, when I'm playing, when I'm using this playbook, I'm almost begging to see it. Okay, maybe you hit them with a few short yards, short throws, or maybe you've been running the ball a little bit better, and they start to get a little bit aggressive. Well, then you're gonna bomb him here. Look how open he gets here, and that's not even because Randy Moss is so fast. You can, I've had wide receivers that are like 4 to 5 points slower than the corner, and they get free over the top. Okay, so that's really awesome, and that's gonna work against anything. So let's say even the tip that I gave with the in the last video where we can reman these corners, we're gonna torch that too. Okay, so that's something you should also, by the way, be wary of if you're running that defense, that if somebody's gonna be using this route, they can torch you. Okay, also, if they are protecting the sticks, which cancels the match coverage, I would suggest going out and getting yourself a burner. Okay, go out and get yourself a powered up Tyreek Hill or the Randy Moss, and even if they do that, you can actually, look at that, you're going to be able to torch your guy. Now, of course, Randy Moss is actually much faster than AJ Bouye here, but even if you have 1 point or 2 faster, you should be able to get separation there. And I'll show you the difference here with just a simple streak. So you see how much closer he is there. Okay, so how good is that? So go get yourself your fastest receiver, and anytime you see press, it's probably a 1-play touchdown. Okay, if it's pressed cover 4 or cover 3, it's going to be a 1-play touchdown. If it's pressed cover 2, there's a good chance you'll get at the very least 30-40 yards or more. So this is really, really critical. Okay, you need stick as one of your hot routes, and then you need the dig cross as the other one, because we want to make our opponent pay if they're being a little bit aggressive. So really, for the rest of the game, they have to kind of play this kind of off zone coverage. Otherwise, they're going to get torched by us. Also, I've noticed some stuff like, say if they're playing off man like they would with the mid blitz that we've been seeing, if you have considerable speed advantage, you should still be able to beat them. So just like this. Okay, so that's something you also want to keep an eye on. I think it also works against cover 4 if they're not protecting the sticks. It's just such a good route. It's got so many applications, and not nearly enough people are using it. Okay, so that's really important for us. Now, I want to touch on the run plays. And touching on the run plays, I want to also talk about the personnel that you kind of want for this. Okay, offensive line, I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out which positions are important there. So, if you're playing salary cap, you can. That's something to hold off on for now. I still don't really know what's important, what stats are important. If you're playing regular head-to-head, just go max out your line. What I do here is you're going to want a quarterback with high throw power, I'd say. I have the Gunslinger Cam. The Gunslinger might be a little unnecessary, but he's been doing wonders for me. You can do whatever you want at halfback. I think speed is most important here with high spin move. So, Barry Sanders, if you can afford him. High run block here at the tight end, because we do actually want to run the ball. Here and here also high run block. I actually run a tight end here in the slot. Okay, we don't really need a burner there for this scheme, and I like that because when we're doing, say, halfback power O, we're going to take this ball outside, and we want those guys to hold our blocks, and we want to get big gains that way. Okay, so this play is actually really, really good. I can't really show it in practice mode because the block sheds are ridiculous, and then it is a run play, so we're not going to waste too much time on that. And then, yeah, on the other side, over here on the left, get your Tyreek Hill, you know, your burner that you can take the top off the defense. So that's that. The other run I have there is inside zone. This is up to you. You could fill this audible slot with another pass play, but I like also the inside zone because although the halfback power O is good, if you run it a few times, I think the user will key on it and then go run outside and fill that fill that edge. Inside zone gives you an option to run outside or inside. So you could, make it seem like you're going to be running to the outside again and then cut it upfield. So it's not as good as an outside run as the power O, but it's flexible in that we can cut it inside or we can cut it outside. So that's why I like it there. And then, we've been saying that running the ball is really hard this year, but I think, if you get the right personnel here and if you're running those two run plays, you can do really, really well like I do. Okay, so that's quickly the audibles. Really just trying to say that you need those outside release go routes, and these run plays are going to help you a lot to check into anytime that you see where you can. Okay, so let's get started with some of these plays. So actually we're going to go right back to dig cross because there are some other nice things about it. So dig cross, and let's just go to cover 3 sky. So we know the left here we always have against cover 2. So if it even looks like cover 3, or it's a baseline, we don't know what it could be, we have options on the left for the cover 2. This check down route from Tomlinson is actually really nice. Let me get off him. A lot of the times you can just find him there and you can get easy 5 yards. I like that a lot actually. I've been using those delayed routes from the halfback and the tight end a lot lately because people just kind of forget about them, and you can use them as a nice check down. Usually you don't have to. Okay, so against cover 3, what I like to do is align my trip side to the field. So of course we have more space, and we just flat tight end. Okay, so from here what's going to happen is that this flat is going to draw down this flat defender. This crossing route is going to preoccupy the user, or even the CPU if the user is elsewhere. And then what you're looking to do is hit this 15-yard in. Okay, so it'll look just like this, and we're wide open right here. Okay, so worst case in this one, we get 15 yards or so, but a lot of times you can catch that and even turn that upfield. So I'll show that again. And this again is just stock cover 3. Maybe you can spin, put a spin move there and turn that upfield. I don't know. So that's stock cover 3, and it actually works, against anything. Of course, it's going to work against hard flat. So I like this a lot because it doesn't even matter what flat assignment they're in. If they're in cover 3, they're getting burnt by this. Unless the user gets involved, but then we have options for that too. Okay, so I'll show you against cloud flats. And actually cloud flat is nice. So if you notice your opponent playing cloud flats, which most of them do, you actually don't even need this flat from your tight end. Okay, you can put him into block. Okay, you can put him in as a drag to suck in that user defender even more, and you're still going to be open with that 15-yard in. Okay, so that time I threw it a little bit early, but we were still able to get it in. Okay, that's one thing. Your guy's always going to get open, but the timing might be a little bit different. So just like that. That time I got 20 yards. So, and let's show you against, we got cloud flat and not over the top coverage, the protect the sticks. Okay, so let's do that. And I believe we also don't need the tight end here. So we should get open really easily, even more open actually. So I think that's the most common adjustment, doing the cloud flats and protect the sticks, and you just see how open we were there. Then, say if you're a user defender, which is usually the strong hook here, say if he goes and tries to user that himself. Okay? Well, we have options here. We have the drag route that we can hit, or we can hit this guy. Yeah, I probably should have actually gotten off that strong hook here. Okay, get him off. Let's go there. If we see him cross this guy, we have that hot read every single time. So this is really going to put your opponent in a bind. They're going to have to check out of their cover 3, and as soon as they do that, we have those forced outside release go routes on the left, and then also we can audible to stick to have it on the right. So you can see we're starting to really get things going. And of course, we could even max protect. If they're sending the heat, well, they have fewer zones, and then we don't even need this Gonzalez. We can just keep him into block, make sure we have a little bit of time in the pocket, and we can throw that. Another thing that you can do is, and I don't tend to do this just because I'm not too comfortable with deep crossing routes, but we know how good those routes are in this game. So if you're patient enough, you can wait for that deep crosser to develop all the way across the field, and in a lot of cases you can hit them there. Okay, in this case, you actually couldn't in that case. Let's try against cloud flats. I feel like you should be able to hit him there. Yeah, okay, so that's something you have to kind of watch out for. It looks like against stock cover 3, they do a little bit of a better job at defending that deep crosser. But if they're running clouds like most players do, if not all the best players, you can have a little bit of patience there, and then you can hit that deep crosser. Let me just check cloud flats with protect the sticks. Let's see if we can hit him. Yeah, oh yeah. So he was wide open there. The block shed came through. But it's there. So that's one of the reasons I don't really like using deep crosser, because it does take a little bit of time to develop. But if we know, if you're playing online head-to-head, those block sheds really don't come in. And then especially if you're max protecting, they'll almost never come in. So that's an option there. But you're always going to have that dig route. Okay, whatever they're doing. If you think that they might be running curls, hook curls, they play a little bit better there, as you saw it there. So you might want to put this flat in every single time just to cover your bases. Okay, so in this case, there we go, and we're there. Easy 15 yards every single time. And it's great too. Like even if you're running, say, if you're 3rd and 20, 4th and 20, you can just smart route this out route to the first down marker, and you can get your first down pretty easily there. And if things break down, again, you still have 5 easy yards from your running back right there. Okay, so that's dig cross. I'm just checking to see if I have everything covered. Again, if they start to run press on you, well, we're already here. We don't even need to audible. Wait for him to clear the flat, and we got a touchdown. It sounds silly, but I see it in every single game. I get at least 1 touchdown against press coverage every single game. So if you're not running these routes, you definitely will be if you switch to this playbook, which is, already turning out to be really, really decent. So that's dig cross. We have options against pretty much everything there. By the way, I'm not really going to look at cover 4 too much. Again, I've said this a million times. I consider cover 3 and 4 to be almost identical in ways. So I'm just kind of cover 2 and 3 because we don't really need to waste too much time on that. So dig cross. The other play is Z under here. Okay, so this is going to be a kind of a extension of a video I made before with the how to run the smash concept. So the only adjustment that you really, really need for this one, again, we're going to be running trips to the field. The thing that sucks about this play, it's good and bad. The split of this wide receiver is shorter, so it might be a little bit of a giveaway that you're in this play, but it does work for us. It's nice that it's there, and most people probably won't catch on to it. So the adjustment you want to make is put your strong side wide receiver on a zig route. And that's all you need to do. I like to also put the tight end on a drag route. And we'll get into that shortly, why we want that. But our primary read is going to be that corner route. And against cover 3, I did a video on it before, but if you didn't see that, there's going to be no type of cover 3 that can stop this. So we had the last play that we're hitting cover 3 outside in. This one we're hitting cover 3 inside out. So I'll show you whatever flat they're running, they're going to bite on that zig. And then you have that corner route open there. Okay, so that's just stock. By the way, against stock too, and if you really want quick yards, this zig is actually open a lot of the times. You can just forward pass lead that, and then if you can turn that upfield, if real player motion wasn't the worst thing in the world, you could easily turn that upfield for more. So easy, 7 yards or so. That you have an option there. Against hard flats, of course, actually your corner route's going to get a little bit open a little bit quicker in this case. Always open there. Let's go ahead and show against clouds. Clouds, you can't really wait all the way. You have to kind of throw it as he makes his break, just like this, and then you're just going to have to possession catch that. Okay, and maybe I did a little bit late there. So we'll show that, and you can just throw that right there, right in that pocket, possession catch that. I just want to show you against clouds if we wait a little bit more. Okay, so let's get back into cloud flats, and let's max protect again. So Bosa's contained. If we're patient with that cloud flat, he's going to come down on that zig, and we should be able to squeeze it in right there. Okay, so cloud flat's kind of tight, but trust me guys, this stuff works great against that. Cloud flats with protect the sticks. Easy yards again. So now again, I love this a lot because there's no type of cover 3 that can stop this. Okay, so this 2-route smash concept is really critical for us. And then when you have your user trying to get to that themselves, well, you always have this hot read from the tight end. Okay, so you have that hot read to the tight end, but even better, you have this option here. Just throw the drag. Okay, it's simple like that. Drag will get you 5 or more yards, and then if you have somebody good, I've noticed with tight ends a lot, if you're spamming the stiff arm button when you get tackled, a lot of the times they break these tackles because I think people are trying to do strips and they're trying to do big hit sticks, but against big boys like Gronk or whatever, they're going to break those tackles and they're going to get more yards. Okay, so just simple like that. You have a zig over here, you have a drag over here. You can beat every single cover 3 on the right side, but if you want to switch it up, you have it on the left side too. Now say if they are running this adjustment, so say if they're taking their user defender and they're going to go manually cover that smash concept over there, and they are running hard flats to cover your drag route. Okay, but you still have your dig route from your solo side wide receiver as your backbreaker route. Okay, so that's going to be your final read. Okay, you're going to look towards the smash. Is the smash there? 99% of the time, the smash is going to be there because, again, it's not guardable by any sort of cover 3 unless the user goes out there themselves. In that case, you have the hot read to your tight end because there's going to be a gaping hole in the middle there. Actually, it doesn't even need to be a streak. You can put this on a curl route right here. Okay, and he can just sit there and you can work that. You also have the drag route, which, and especially against cloud flats. Let me show you against cloud flats right here. Look at all the room that you have here. You should be able to pick up 10 yards against cloud flats. And then if they're really aggressive and they're, really starting to protect the outside of the field, which is, what you've been exposing with this corner route and with the drag route, you always have this solo side dig route to as that final read. Okay, so we already have, of course, not even talking about the one-play touchdown potential against press coverage and cover 2. We already have 2 great options for cover 3. Okay, so we covered the Z under. So let's go to one more play with multiple reads. And that play is slot 2 buck. So let's go ahead and go big nickel, and we're against cover 3 sky. So with slot 2 buck, you have a number of options here. Of course, always, I made a video on how to beat cover 3 with hot routes, and then, a lot of those were, say, we have the out route over here. So that's something you could look for if your opponent's running just a standard curl flats from the slot, and that's going to be always open for you. Easy 10 yards every single time. So you always have that. So you always have this out route here. But that's not even really part of what I'm trying to do with the slot 2 buck. The slot 2 buck is nice because what we're going to do is just be annoying underneath with the tight end here. Okay, no user actually wants to cut underneath such a short route. And usually you're going to get 5 yards here every single time. You run that 3 plays in a row, you got yourself a first down. I would suggest maybe waiting a little bit and doing a forward pass lead, because a forward pass lead will actually get them going a little bit better. If you run backward, if you're backing up, if you're kind of scrambling, that's when things kind of break down. But that's an easy 5 yards that you can run every single play. Now, once you start to get your user involved a little bit more aggressively, so this is the point of it all. Okay, let me actually just get off him. Is to suck that user in to protect that, and then you got this post over the top for a big play. So with this, we're not working the sidelines where we can, expose the logic of the flat defenders in cover 3, which is what we're doing with, the last two. We are making the user to come down and cover this short route because he's getting annoyed with it, and then we have that post all day. So we have that high-low option, and normally I don't really like working the high-low against the user, but I think the spacing is so good with these that you really can't not use it. Okay, you have the underneath route that's always going to get you yards, and then if the user bites down on it, I really don't think that they can cover both. As OP as some of these users are, I don't think he'll ever be able to get to that post route over the top. Other things that we can do, okay, we can use a little flat combination here, or even a wheel from the running back, and we can play the high-low over there. Okay, so against a simple curl flat, you should have that dig route open right there. This is even better when your opponent's working the weak side hook. So say if he's on the weak hook and he's biting on that underneath curl, you're gonna have even a lot more space over here. So just like that, and then you can turn that upfield for a lot more. So, if you haven't gotten it already, I really like these backside dig routes as a final read because they're really working well. Let's also show you against cloud flats, protect the sticks. Let's just watch that user defender. Is he going to give us space? A lot of times we're going to be wide open there. Okay. Again, against cloud flats, we need to be a little bit more careful because the timing is a little bit different. We just need to wait a little bit more. We can catch that and turn that upfield. So the slot 2 buck is not necessarily the easiest. Okay, I think the dig cross with that concept on the right there, and then Z under is a lot more a lot more friendly to run. Okay, because we know we don't have to worry about the user defender, and we know that there's going to be no combination of cover 3 that can cover it. This one, it makes this one a little bit harder here. Okay, but again, the primary thing is just, do we have this hook? We're going to take it, and we're going to get a few yards. Is the user biting down, or even if the user's in no man's land, like if he's just around here, if we are patient with it, we can hit that post over the top. Okay, that post has, I would say, the perfect depth. So he's kind of making us break at 15 yards, and that the free safety is, even Harrison Smith here, he's never going to be able to make a play on the ball. And no user really wants to go way out that deep. Okay, you know, you can do other things too underneath where you have this meshing concept underneath. So no user wants to be taken out of the play like that. You know, if they go and take that, well, we've won because we can just run drags and slants all day. If they don't, well, we can hit them big over the top. Okay, so that's the slot 2 buck. One more passing route that I just want to quickly touch on because, you know, I made a video on this and it's not used nearly enough. It's almost my favorite play in the game, and that's curls combo. Again, it's going to work against any type of cover 3. What's great about this is that you're going to be hitting that sweet spot over here where, you know, by the numbers here, where no flat from cover 3 or cover 4 will ever be able to get to. Okay, so, you know, especially say they're running cloud flats, you know, with these deep halves over here, they're running protect the sticks like a lot of people do. You're just going to have acres of space, just like that. And that's really easy 10 yards every single time. Okay, so that's the starter pack for the Detroit Lions offensive playbook. I think this is more than enough that you'll ever need. Okay, so it's what I've been using to test it out so far. I think that this halfback power O is one of the better shotgun runs in the game. These outside release go routes are, of course, pure glitch. You know, there's so many coverages that'll just torch. And then you have these great cover 3 options with Z under, dig cross, curls combo, and then if you're feeling, you know, a little bit more risky, and if you don't think much of your opponent's user, you also have that slot 2 buck. Okay, guys, so that's that. Of course, you know, I'm going to be working to build on this to, you know, introduce maybe some other formations. I already have a few things in the works, but this will definitely be all you need for 90 to 95% of opponents. Okay, it's a ton of fun for me. I'm scoring so many damn points. It's ridiculous. But I want to encourage you guys, if you have any questions on this, please comment down below. I want to help you guys learn this. I want to help you guys improve on this. I might be, you know, a little bit slow to respond sometimes because sometimes I'm just a little bit too busy, but I'm definitely here for you guys, and I definitely want to develop this into the best offensive scheme in Madden, if, you know, it isn't already, which I think it's unbelievable. It's one of the best passing schemes that I've had in a long time. Okay, so, you know, if you haven't already, I would definitely say stay subscribed because the updates to this are going to be here. And if you show a like to this video, those videos will come a lot sooner. Okay, I hope you guys like that, and we'll see you in the next one.